Personal spending decreased 0.2% in October, the first monthly retreat since June, possibly attributable to Superstorm Sandy. Consumer spending dipped 0.3% when adjusted for inflation. Personal income was flat in October for the first time since April. Even so, November's Conference Board Index of Consumer Confidence measured 73.7, which happens to be a 57-month high. The Bureau of Economic Analysis revised third quarter GDP up to 2.7%. Sounds good. However, when you look at the fine details, federal spending and restocking of goods were the major factors in the quarter's improved output.
New home sales have increased a little over 17% in the last 12 months, even with a 0.3% retreat in October. In addition to that news from the Census Bureau, the latest edition on the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index showed home values in the third quarter rising about 4% from the third quarter of 2011. The National Association of Realtors reported a little over a 5% jump in its pending home sales index in October, which at 104.8 reached the highest point since March of 2007.
Durable goods orders were flat in October, but they rose 1.5% minus transportation orders. Increasing orders for electrical components up 4%, computers up almost 1%, and machinery up almost 3% showed confidence on the part of companies.
Even with very little progress in the fiscal cliffs talk in Washington, the S&P 500 managed about a 0.5% gain last week to reach 1416 at the closing bell on Friday. The NASDAQ up about 1.5 to 3010, the Dow a little over 0.1% to 1325, and the NASDAQ S&P respectively gained 1.1 and 0.29% in November. The Dow, on the other hand, slipped a little over 0.5% for the month. Gold closed Friday at 1710. Oil settled in at about $89 a barrel.
The Institute for Supply Management's November Manufacturing Index appears today, Monday, along with Commerce Department data on November auto sales.
Tomorrow kicks off some earnings reports for third quarters from several companies.
Then Wednesday, the ISM's November Service Sector Index is out, plus data on October factory orders.
On Thursday, the latest weekly jobless claims numbers arrive in, and the European Central Bank and Bank of England are going to make some policy announcements.
And then wrapping up the week on Friday, the November jobs report arrives. So too does a preliminary December Consumer Sentiment Index from the University of Michigan. That's what we're looking at this week. My name is Eric Hagen.
I'm Greg Petrie.
We'll keep our finger on the pulse of the economy and report back to you next Monday.
So please feel free to subscribe. We'll talk with you then.